Namaste. Welcome to your Friday, October 8th yoga practice. Thank you for being here. Today, the quote that we'll be working with, I'm so excited. I just got this new book from Krishnamacharya's son, Desikachar. I need to work on my words and names, but the heart of yoga. If anyone's interested in deepening their personal practice and learning more about the cultural lineage of yoga, as well as what it means beyond these physical exercises, this is a really great resource. It came highly recommended. This is one of the few teachers that doesn't have a scandal associated to them. And from what I've read so far, it's really great. So let's see. Oh, I lost my quote. I'm sorry. Yoga is not passive, is really the heart of it. If we are healthy, we know more about ourselves and improve the quality of our actions. It's likely we'll make fewer mistakes in life. Yoga is not passive. We have to participate in life. To do this well, we can work on ourselves. There it is. Yoga is not passive. We have to participate in life. So as you find your comfortable seat, we'll think, how would we like to show up as we participate in life today, tomorrow, moving through the weekend, moving in this new lunar cycle? How would we like to participate in life? And let us move for the next 30 minutes in those ways. Sit tall and breathe deeply. Maybe imagining yourself as the version you are becoming. And imagining yourself exactly as you are right now. Perhaps even smiling kindly, gently to yourself in your mind's eye. And as you're ready, if you'd like, draw your hands together in front of your heart. Inhaling deeply to chant and vibrate one long Om out into the world. Inhaling for Om. Release your hands. Draw big circles with your shoulders, rolling them up, back, and down. You can keep syncing your breath to this, remembering the word yoga means union. And so we can unite our breath and our movement, a very practical way of experiencing union. Inhaling up, exhaling back and down. Inhaling, the body expands. Exhaling, it gently contracts. And then circle your shoulders the opposite direction. You might be able to notice how your shoulder blades are sliding together and apart, together as they come up towards the ears, apart as they roll forwards and away from each other. And then cease the circles. Inhale to lengthen your spine and start moving in big circles with your heart, drawing it forwards and backwards, trying to keep your seat relatively glued to the earth, but noticing how the weight shifts. Sometimes I think of when you spin a coin and it spins, 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 but then right before it falls, it starts to roll around all of the edges. I guess it's one continuous edge on a circle. So we can think of doing that on the edge of the pelvic bowl, rotating. And when it feels right, we'll switch directions, a few breaths. Return to your center. Notice which leg is folded in front. Guide your legs together. You can keep your hands on the earth behind you. Maybe today you lower down to your forearms, elbows pretty well under shoulders. Make sure you don't slouch into your shoulders. If you do, maybe it's a better idea to prop yourself up higher. So resisting any urge to slouch, we're keeping our heart lifted, core engaged, spine supported. You might float your toes off of the earth. Maybe you stay here, this is enough. Maybe you add some really slow bicycle pedals. Keep your legs actively engaged. So a way of making certain that's happening is by spreading your toes wide. And just by nature, that will bring more energy into the toes, foot, ankle, up the lines of the legs. Check in with your shoulders. Are you slouching? Try not to push the ground away. Try not to slouch. Do push the ground away. Switch the direction of your bicycle pedals. Now we are the cool kids pedaling backwards. Keep breathing. Navel drawing down towards your spine, up towards your heart. Notice what's happening. If the body is shaking or resisting, that's okay. Keep breathing. You're in control. You can always stop. A few more breaths if you're with me. And extra credit, lengthen your legs, spread the toes, big breath in. Exhale, feet back to the earth. Drop yourself back up. Cross the opposite leg in front, returning to your easy seat. Might shake the shoulders out if any tension snuck into your neck, like it did mine. And then big circles again, just a few times each way. Balancing out, trying to do everything equally to both sides. Yoga is not passive. Our bodies might be feeling that truth right now. And switch directions as you're ready. If you're speeding through it, just notice that you are. Maybe you naturally slow down a little, paying attention. And as you're ready, return to your easy seat. Hands to your side body. Do this in a way that works for your wrists. Don't strain yourself. Soften your shoulders and take a few breaths here, really tapping in to how your body expands on the inhale and contracts on the exhale. See if you can guide the breath into where your hands are on the side body. Allowing the breath to be three-dimensional, filling up, expanding, front, back, sides, and everything in between. Maybe on your next exhale, you even sigh the breath out. See if you can feel the vibration. If that felt good, maybe you do it one more time. All right, release your hands, shake out the wrists, make your way into our friend tabletop. You might put the blanket under your knees. You might get a cat on your mat if you're lucky. There he is. Hi, buddy. All right. In tabletop, you're right on cue. Start moving through cow and cat. So inhale, drop your belly, shoulder blades slide together, looking up. Exhale, taking it all the other way. Add any other movement that feels good. I tend to like sinking my hips back towards my heels on the exhale. Get a little more round in the spine. A few more breaths. Make sure that you're kind to your wrists here. How's the weight going into your hands? You can always walk the hands forwards a few inches. to help in lightening the load on your wrists. When you come to an exhale, let's all sink our hips back, finding child's pose, balasana. Keep this child's pose active. So that means that your arms are lifted off of the earth, hands are pressing into the earth. Big inhale. Exhale, walk your hands over to the right side, any amount. And imagine anchoring your left hip back and down. You might play with putting one hand on top of the other. I can never decide which one gives me the most sensation. So maybe you try your left hand on top of the right, and then try right hand on top of the left and see if you have a preference. Big breath. And as you're ready, with an exhale, walk your arms and hands through center and over to the left side. This time we anchor the right hip back and down. This lateral spinal stretch can really help us breathe into that side body like we practice seated. Stretching the intercostal muscles, little muscles between every rib, many little muscles. And when you're ready with an exhale, we return to center. Rise up through tabletop. Tuck your left toes and send the left leg long. Press back through your left heel. Core muscles engaged, so we're not swaying into our low back. We're supported. Maybe here you float the left toes off of the earth any amount. Maybe you float the right fingertips off of the earth. Maybe reaching fingers and foot to the distance. Keep drawing the navel up, engaging the core, lengthening the low back. Breathe. One more inhale. Exhale, set hand and knee down. Flip your left palm to the sky. Make some circles. Maybe you make a fist and release, just giving attention to the wrist. And returning to tabletop, tuck your right toes and send the right leg long. Press back through your heel, through the sole of your foot, keeping the toes on the earth at first because that gives us the stretch through our calf muscles. Core engaged, so lengthen your low back rather than swaying into it. And as you're ready, if you'd like, float the right toes off of the earth. We're still pushing the ground away, so we're not slouching into our shoulders. Maybe the left fingers float to the distance. And you can have the fingers and toes just barely off of the earth. This is a lot of balance work, so be kind to yourself. If it's available, you might bring everything towards parallel to the earth. Remember, the core is engaged. We're pushing the earth away with the hand, especially gripping into the fingertips. One more breath. And exhale, hand and knee return to the mat. Flip your right palm to the sky, opening and closing the fist, maybe making some circles with the torso. What are you looking at? All right, hands back under shoulders or perhaps a couple of inches in front. Tuck your toes, big inhale here, and exhale, slowly send the hips up to the sky. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog, this triangle shape. You can bend one knee and then the other, sway your hips, maybe even rotate your torso side to side. Any movement that helps you feel expansion in your body and your muscles and breath. And then let's settle in for a breath or two of stillness in downward facing dog. Notice if you're holding tension in your neck, maybe you can let it go. One more breath like this. On an inhale, let's all lift our right leg any amount to the sky. Three-legged dog. Look forwards. Inhale. Exhale, step or swing that right foot to meet the right thumb. Pause here in high runner's lunge. Inhaling and exhaling. Then pivot your left heel to meet the earth. Heel to arch or heel to heel alignment. Inhale, cartwheel your arms up. Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Remember, in this posture, we can see our right big toe inside of the right knee. So if the knee is caving into the midline, we will actively bring it back in space, make any adjustments that you need to accommodate that. That is for knee safety. And that's in alignment with earlier this week, we talked about the knees and toes, keep them going the same direction. Shoulders are stacked over your hips. You can see that that's happening. And then your fingertips reach away from each other. When you do that, there might be a tendency to lean forward over the bent leg. Draw yourself back in space. Those relaxed shoulders over the hips. Gaze over your right middle fingers. 3 more breaths. Wonderful. Slowly straighten your right leg. Flip your right palm to the sky. Reverse triangle. Really anchor down through the root of your big toe on the right foot. And fingertips lift up. Again, we're stretching along the lateral, the side body. Notice what's going on with your left leg, your back leg. Stay equally engaged into the 4 corners of your left foot. One more breath in this reverse triangle. Lengthen your low back, lift your heart. Exhale, cartwheel your arms, bend your right leg, extended side angle. Now this is where you do always have the option of resting your right arm on the right thigh, but for me, I will crunch then into my right shoulder. So I just remove the temptation and straighten the right arm, using that like a lever to help rotate my heart to the sky. Your top arm can be reaching to the sky or alongside your ear. Really anchor into the pinky side edge of that back foot. One more breath. Exhale, cartwheel your arms down, pivot onto the left toes. High runner's lunge, inhale. Exhale, step yourself back to plank. You can always lower your knees. Inhale, exhale, push the ground away. You're strong. One more breath. When you come to an inhale, come forward on your tippy toes. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down. You can drop your knees anytime. Land on your belly and untuck your toes, pointing the legs back. Hands alongside your ribs, so scoot them back in space a bit. Draw your elbows together, shoulder blades hug the spine. Lengthen your low back. On an inhale, lift your heart any amount. It can be a small, hardly noticeable amount perhaps. And after a breath or two, lower down. You might rest your head on your hands or the mat. Shimmy your hips a little. Bring the hands back alongside your ribs, the very bottom of your ribs. Squeeze the shoulder blades, squeeze the inner elbows towards each other. Press the tops of your feet into the earth. Lengthen your low back. On an inhale, lift up any amount. Maybe you keep peeling the heart up. Maybe you lengthen your arms, lifting your knees off of the earth. All of our bodies are shaped differently. So if your knees don't lift, you can still make the action of lifting your knees by engaging your legs and quads. One more breath. Big heart opener here. Exhale, lower back down. We can make a pillow with our hands as we shimmy our hips side to side, maybe even bending the knees, letting the legs fall left and right like windshield wipers. Using a little spinal twisting to help the spine decompress. Return your tucked toes to the earth. Engage the legs. So again, that action is if your knees are lifting. Hands under shoulders. Big inhale. Exhale completely. When there's no breath in your body, press yourself up. Here is a powerful plank. Soft knees, send the hips high. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now is also an excellent time to rest in child's pose if that serves you better on your journey. One more breath in downward facing dog, or returning to it if you took child's pose. On an inhale, lift your left heel to the sky, three-legged dog. Push the ground away. We're still really long through our spine. Look forward between your hands. Big inhale. Exhale, step or swing the left foot to meet the left thumb. Whatever it takes to get there. Pause in your high runner's lunge. And exhale, pivot the right heel down. Cartwheel your arms up with a big breath. We settle in for Virabhadrasana 2 on the other side. Now again, we can see what we're working with. So heel to arch or heel to heel alignment. Bending into your left leg. You can see your left big toe inside of the left knee. You can see that your shoulders are over your hips. Lengthen your low back while you lift your crown and reach your fingertips away from each other. You might give a stretch and wiggle to your fingers, maybe draw circles in the wrists. Really actively pressing into the pinky side edge of your long leg. So that's to prevent us from rolling in on our ankles. Maybe you're gazing over the middle fingers of your front hand. Steady, another couple breaths. Slowly straighten your left leg. Flip your left palm to the sky, reverse triangle. As you arrive, see if you can settle into the 4 points on each foot, evenly distributing the weight, lifting the left fingertips up to the sky. Where can you feel sensation? And if this balance is too tricky, you can also look down. That'll generally help. One more big breath. As you exhale, bend your left knee, cartwheel your arms down, extended side angle. Option to rest your left elbow on your left thigh. You can keep your neck long and shoulder open. Otherwise, maybe straighten the arm. Use that as a lever, perhaps, as you kind of lean the torso back in space, open the heart to the sky. Your top arm can be reaching straight up or alongside your ear. Big breath in and out. One more. And exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Pause in this high runner's lunge. Big inhale. Exhale, step yourself up to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, reaching out and up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach out and up. Keep your arms up as you breathe. Carry the weight into your right leg. Lift your left knee any amount. So maybe the left toes are just floating off of the earth. Maybe you bring the left thigh parallel to the earth. Keep reaching your fingertips to the sky. Maybe you transition into tree pose, opening the left leg out. Placing the left foot anywhere on the right leg except for on the knee joint. And then open your arms up, Vrikshasana tree. Breathe deeply. Long spine, so your low back is finding length. Your crown is lifting up. One more breath. Exhale, lower your hands and foot. Maybe shake your arms out. And inhale, reach out and up. Arms stay lifted as we transition weight into the left leg. Floating the right toes off of the earth any amount, maybe bending the right thigh, right knee so the thigh comes parallel. Maybe you open the right leg out wide, right foot finding left leg. Open your arms. Do whatever it takes to find your balance here. Vrikshasana tree pose. Just a couple of breaths. One more big inhale. Exhale, release. Inhale, reach both arms out and up. Exhale, fold forward. Sink your hips all the way, transitioning to our seat. Send both legs long. Perhaps here we'll do a seated forward fold. So perhaps you like to bring your strap or blocks. I like to rest my arms on blocks. On an inhale, sit tall, reach tall. And exhale, hinge forward, modifying, of course, however you're using your tools. And remember, we're never forcing our legs straight. If you really want to keep your legs straight, then just keep in mind you might not go that deeply into the forward fold, and that's okay. We're not in competition. We are exploring. As long as we're doing this safely, there's no harm. So even if it doesn't look super deep, there are benefits. We're finding our breath. Little by little, we're increasing the length of the muscle fibers, letting them slide over each other every time we expand. And then they slide over each other every time we contract. For the next few breaths, maybe you add some gentle neck rolls. Noticing how this might light up parts of your experience with sensation. As you're ready, we'll slowly release this posture, walking the hands up the legs. Maybe we give ourselves a little leg massage, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then make your way onto your spine. Maybe you bring your blocks with you. If you'd like, you can take Shavasana with Supta Baddha Konasana, bringing the soles of your feet together, opening the legs out like a book opening up. And perhaps this feels grounding and restorative to you today. If not, you're always welcome to find our traditional Shavasana, legs long. If your arms are extended long, I invite you to flip your palms towards the sky. And give yourself this moment of rest. The body has worked hard for you all week. This is time to rest. Yoga is not passive. We have to participate in life. To do this well, we can work on ourselves. Deepen your breath and invite movement in. As you're ready, you might take a full body stretch. And as you're ready, make your way back to an easy seated posture. As you arrive, we'll sit tall and rub the hands together. There's our reminder that we are generating energy and exerting energy all the time. Notice the temperature between the hands change. Another big breath in, and as you exhale, slowly stop moving the hands. Maybe you have some heightened awareness of the sensations your hands can feel. If we can become in awe of the subtle energy all around us, we will live in a world of beauty and wonder. Quote from Rodney. If you'd like to close practice with Om, join me for a full inhale. Ah. Thank you so much for sharing your practice and for taking care of yourself. I hope you have a beautiful weekend.